anybody else just living on standby, like they just on idle mode. Like you not expecting nothing out of life and you not chasing nothing in life. You just simply just being. Somewhere along the line, all this shit just changed. And it's like we just waiting on something to happen. Like, I can't even explain the feeling. Like, I know a lot of y'all feel the same way. But it's just like, I'm not anxious for anything I'm not anxious to make anything happen. I'm not out here trying to scramble for anything in life. Simply just waiting in a sense. Waiting for what? I have no idea, but maybe we'll see, huh?
You're happy and you know it. Clap your hands. Big up to my good vibes, you see me? Make sure you are showing up for yourself and loving yourself to infinity and beyond. Now let us get into the video. Indeed we shall. Pay a like, pay a comment, pay a sub, pay attention. Let's get it. Make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment and watch this video all the way to the end so you can win.
Stop masturbating. Stop doing that shit. It's crazy to me how many people I see, especially in the spiritual community, people on their spiritual journey, and they're like, oh, I am celibate. I'm not having sex with anybody because I don't want to share my energy. I don't want to take on anybody's spirits. I don't want to take on anybody's demons that they're fighting. But then you'll turn around and proceed to masturbate. Theologists tell you that if we could see through the veil, to the right we would see 10,000, to the left we would see 1,000. Psalms 91 tells you, y'all are not reading. When you think you're alone, you are never alone. Just because you can't physically see somebody with your eyes doesn't mean that they're not there. Our energetic atmosphere is filled with spirits. And when you are alone and you decide to masturbate, number one, when the random thought of masturbation pops up in your head, that is a spirit, that is a low vibe that is trying to engage in sexual activity with you. So it is whispering in your ear. Those of us growing up in the 90s, we're privy to the cartoons that still kind of secretly showed us what was happening beyond the veil. Cartoons where they would have the angel on one shoulder and the little red devil on the other shoulder, and the red devil would be just giving random thoughts of chaos, and then the angel trying to give advice on how to avoid all of this chaos. Anytime you get a random thought that pops up in your head, and it's not a whole active conversation, self, because remember, we're not talking to self, we're talking to our assigned, but we'll call it self for right now. If it's not a full-on engagement of conversation with self, it's a random thought that just pops up. It has no real beginning, it has no real end. It's just like, boom, do this. That is a low vibrational entity trying to get you to move, trying to get you to manifest chaos into your reality. That's why you pray for a spirit of discernment, so that you can discern what you should be listening to and how you should be moving. Now, when you get that random thought to masturbate, it's a low vibrational entity trying to engage in sexual activity. It could be multiple trying to engage in sexual activity. And then now you begin to masturbate. You're not alone. There are spirits watching. There are also spirits engaging. And now there are those who don't know, and then there are those who don't believe. But entities can carry sexually transmitted. Don't believe it? Start watching some of these African pastors on YouTube who can tell you about these things. People can send STDs in spiritual warfare through entities. They can send you a dirty spirit. All of these things are possible. Being celibate is not just about not swapping energy with another spirit having a human experience. When you're having sex with them, yes, you could take on the spirits that are on them. But that's just the spirits that are on them. Think about how many spirits are present when you're there alone. They're getting their round with you. They're gangbanging you, basically. Stop.
So I know that things are easier said than done, but she is absolutely right. I was having this one conversation before, and I don't even know how we got there. And it was with an acquaintance. It wasn't like a friend, but she was like, she said that it was burning when she was like urinating. And I was like, well, did you do anything with anybody? But she's like, no, I've been celibate for, X amount of time or whatever. And I was like, well, did you play with yourself? Like, did you touch down there? Was your hands dirty? and anyway, this is it's a lot of information, so I apologize, but she told the truth, and I was just like, yeah, you probably want to go to the doctors or whatever. And she ended up talking to me again the following week and said, that there was nothing happening or whatever, but she said, the feeling, I guess that sensation just stopped out of nowhere or whatever. She was praying about it, and she was asking about it and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it seems like you're alone when you're not. You got to remember, we only see 0.0035% of reality. So that's correct. I know, like I said, it's easier said than done, but you can do it. Like we can do it. So just food for thought.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, fam. Hard work and determination does all things. You get me? And you always have to remember this. Take a rest. Take a rest. You're not here to be a slave. You were never here to be a slave. You were here to live, learn. It's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Do you understand? If you say you have chosen a path, then follow the path. Yeah? Because lukewarm is the worst place to be. It's better to be good or evil. It's better to be good or evil. The worst place you can ever be is lukewarm. You understand that? And life, can you remember the last one? Can you remember the last life? No, you can't. So you have to live this one to the fullest in righteousness. Not to the fullest in sin, but to the fullest in righteousness. It can be done. Fam, I'm telling you, it can be done. Yeah? Stop acting. It's time to start living. It's time to start being. We need to connect back with nature. The word tells us to. The word tells us to be free. Raise your own animals. You get me? Take care of your children. Remove them from the idols. As the Bible says, you should remove your eyes from the idols. As the word said, you should remove your eyes from the idols. Get yourself out of her, my people, that you not take part in her sins and suffer in her judgments. That is my word for the day. Shalom. Peace.
I'm gonna keep this real quick, real brief. Alright, so I was on a bus and it was this chick. She said, "You Jesus." I knew it was you. I'm like, what? She said, "Yeah, I knew it was you." Now watch this too. Alright, so I was in the mirror yesterday, right? And the way that you can see them. Remember what Jay-Z used to do? You hear me? You do this in the mirror and look all through. You hear me? On my mama, you will see them in the mirror. You will see them. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Because I'm telling you the truth. I'm gonna drop the gemstones for you so you can know what the fuck is really going on. Learn.
That's wild. Now he made me want to try that, but nah, I'm like, I'm not playing with stuff, the opening doors and different, like, I mean, don't do that. Like, just because you don't know what you're doing. I don't know how he found that out, what's going on there, but I couldn't be me. Not going, and you know how you just get curious about, like, nah, though. Cause what did he see? Dang. No. Anyway, let me know your thoughts.
You should not fast if you're going to continue to put junk inside your body, okay? You're actually going to do yourself more harm if you fast and then you continue to eat poorly. Because when you fast, you are cleansing yourself from the inside out. Your body is in a more purified state, which means it's more receptive to everything that you put inside of it, okay? So if you fast and then you put junk into your body is gonna absorb that easier and it's gonna poison you quicker. So you're gonna actually do more damage by fasting and then eating those toxic foods that you were eating before than after your fast, okay? As I get my favorite almond butter right here from Trader Joe's. But as I was saying, you have to be committed to a full transformation if you're going to fast, because fasting is a spiritual discipline, okay? You have to change your diet completely. And I'm not just talking about your physical diet. Yes, you have to change the way you eat, because food is dense and what you eat is gonna affect your food and affect your frequency. But you gotta change what you watch, what you listen to, the environments you're in, all of that. Okay, remember, we want to fast from anything that's slowing us down on our spiritual journey. So like I said, you should not fast if you're going to put poison back in your system, okay? But if you're committed to transforming your life, looking your best, feeling your best, being your best, then fasting is the way to go. I'll show you love and light.
TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. So let me talk to y'all about why they hid our true past, because they know what really took place is 1,000 times worse than the history we get told. Them slave stories, the picking cotton stories, it goes so much deeper. And we about to get into it. Let me remind y'all of what was really going on. The Trail of Tears. They burnt down our cities. They dropped bombs on us. They built cities on our ancestors' remains. What they couldn't hide, they flooded and called it lakes. They put our people in meat farms, sexual slavery. They had us raise their children while they called us savages. The caskets they go back to dig up and collect as soon as the cemetery's empty. The furnitures they made out of us. The bullets they made out of us. The fireworks they made out of us. The sunscreen they made out of us. The melanin supplements they made out of us. The heirlooms of our ancient relics and our remains that they passed down to this day. The destiny swap that occurred between us and them fake-ass Native Americans who claim to be indigenous people till this day. The banks they tore down. The wealth they took from us. The world fairs. The human zoos that was taking place with our people. The fact that every museum is filled with our shit. The resources they stole. They contaminated the water through heavy metals, contamination, water treatment facilities, aquamation, and called the remains they put in our water and our food an ingredient called calcium phosphate. They cut down our ancient trees and called them mountains. That same tree dust that remained, they left it there and called it sand so nothing would grow. They mined our resources dry and called the deserted lands deserts and canyons. They had our people unknowingly participate in our destruction. They had them work in hospitals where the symptoms don't get treated and the patients get treated like customers. They put up signs in the woods, state to state, saying entry prohibited once you reach a certain distance. They boxed us in on the land they built on top of our ancestors' remains and made us pay bills on it. They hid us from us and gave themselves the credit while demonizing us and our ancestors. So now that the building got lifted, what you gonna do? You gonna choose to remember? Or you gonna go back to that comfortable slumber you was in? And with that being said, Ashe, it's been revealed. We remember, we rise.
I bet y'all didn't know. Black folk that talking about my hair is my antenna. You don't know what the hell you talking about. Because first of all, the hair is made up of 3 parts. It's the cuticle, the cortex, which is the follicle, and the medulla. The cuticle is the part that's waxy. When you pluck it and you get it on the end of your hair, it's the little waxy part. That's the cuticle. The medulla is the vein on the inside of the hair follicle that's attached to your skin. The vein is the thing that you feel giving you goosebumps when you think and you learn something that you reminded of. Now, what black folk don't understand is the medulla only appears in our skin. Guess whose skin it don't appear in? The thinner the hair, the less likely the medulla appears. See what I'm saying? Not your hair is the power, it's the medulla, it's your body, the epidermis itself.
Okay, so here are 5 signs that you have a demon living inside of you and you don't know that it's even there, okay? You think it may be trauma, right, or personality, or even sin. But some of y'all are being occupied, right? So sign 1, you're actively involved in sexual sin. And you think it's just lust, right? But adultery, fornication, and porn, right? Lust is the bait, but demonic covenant is the trap. So sign 2, you were abused, molested, or rejected, and no one ever cast out what came with it. Demons enter through pain, and they hide behind trauma, especially childhood trauma. Sign 3, you consistently watch horror movies, dark shows, and listen to demonic music. You're not just entertained, you're feeding what's feeding on you, okay? Sign 4, you came from a sinful family and never broke the curse, right? So witchcraft, perversion, addiction is not just family patterns, it's legal ground, okay? Sign 5, you feel heavy, you feel triggered, emotional, right? And you keep repenting and nothing changes. So that's just not like a soul issue, that's a spiritual tenet that's never been evicted, okay? So if this hits you, you need to find the cleansing prayer on my page right now, okay? You can't just cast out what you're still attached to. You need to be washed, not just prayed over. Freedom requires cleansing. So don't scroll past this. Either look in the description and get the link, or go to my page and find the cleansing prayer. Get free and stay free. Stay blessed.
Okay, so I just want to bring this up. But there's an increase in horror and thriller movies. Like this is like almost all that I see. And then when you're looking for like a good action, because I'm in an action suspense, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes like a psychological thriller or something, but like there's a lot of horror movies. I was scrolling through like Netflix, Amazon Prime, like I was like, dang, a lot of horror stuff. Have you guys noticed that? And if so, like, have you been like weirded out about watching this stuff? Because I just been like, yeah, nah, I can't. Nah. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good one of those movies too here and there, but it's like all the time it's crazy. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Okay, so this one kind of shook me to my core a little bit. Wow. Some of you are a part of the High Council. Some of you are a part of the High Council. Just like you see in movies, the High Council they're the ones that hold the seats and they call the shots. Some of you are part of the High Council. You chose to incarnate to come here and help raise the vibrational frequency of the planet by assisting the chosen ones. You came here of your own recognizance. You were never supposed to be attacked. Woo! Woo! Wow. Wow. You were never supposed to be attacked. These chills. Wow. Look. I'm normally Rosa Parks. I'm keeping my damn seat. I'm not going to the back of the bus. Not only am I going to the back of the bus, I'm going to climb on the outside of the motherfucker and look from the outside in on the bus. Because the high counselors are actually on the damn bus. Wow. Things are starting to truly unfold. You guys, woo! The high counselors here, they're the lighthouses, the grid workers, the frequency holders, and they're the ones who actually assist the chosen ones in raising the vibrational frequency of the planet. You incarnated on your own here. You were completely off limits. You were never supposed to be attacked. So not only were the chosen ones being attacked, but you as High Council were being attacked. There's a video that I did talking about the Royal Rumble. Woo! Okay, so there's two videos. One video is of me actually talking, and the other video is the download that's written of the Royal Rumble. I'm talking about the actual Okay, so pardon the interruption, but as I was saying, there is a video where I'm talking about the Royal Rumble. I'm actually speaking in one video, and the other video is of the actual download. I'm talking about the video that I'm actually speaking in, and in the video I say I keep hearing the ashes and the bones are rumbling in the soil or in the earth. And that was because the chosen ones have been calling out. It wasn't just the chosen ones that were being called out. It was you as High Council. You came here voluntarily to assist on raising the vibration of the planet. The sole purpose of you as a High Council was not just to sit on the council seat to call the shots, but you were also frequency holders, grid keepers, lighthouses, and decision makers down here. Chosen One does what they're supposed to. Send out a signal like a sonar. It alerts you. You actually come in appearing as a chosen one to assist the chosen one. They don't know that you're High Council. The evil entities, however, knew who you were. And they know who you are. You have also been being under attack, so you would be unable to assist the chosen ones. This thing is wow. Woo, this this thing is really just getting it's getting really interesting here, because they done made the fuck around and find out team. Now it makes sense on why you're being activated. The ancestors have been being activated. The chosen ones, when their gifts are being activated, and now you're actually being activated as High Council. Wow. The full effects of who you actually are and what you actually are and how much power you hold are literally starting to be unleashed. That is why the earth is going through a huge purge. The purge was supposed to take place anyway, but because of you, that has set a war like Armageddon in play. When I was seeing the visuals of this thing taking place, this was not just like a regular war, regular battle that was being ensued. This was old school, like Colosseum, lots of horses and dirt kicking up, carriages everywhere. I'm talking about also scenery that looks like Helen of Troy. Just, woo, very majestic in battle, like true ancestry. When I say the battle is ensuing, that is an understatement. I don't have enough words in our vocabulary to give you a clear view of what is transpired. But whatever you can come up with on top of what I just told you, that's what's being experienced in there's a civil war, there's a Gulf War, there's a World War, there's several world wars, there's astrological wars, there's esoteric wars. I'm telling you, there's just war. There is literally just war. The power that you are harnessing and you're sending out this signal is got the Creator coming unglued. And when I say the Creator is unloading the clip, I mean completely unloading the clip. And you're actually a part of what's gonna be unloaded from the damn clip. I don't even look. I'm normally Rosa Parks. I'm gonna take my seat on the bus and I'm not moving. I'm not going to the back of the bus. Not only am I taking my ass to the back of the bus, I'm gonna climb on the outside of it. I don't want to be even on the bus. The high counselors are on the damn bus, and you're one of the high counselors. The downloads are coming in. Your gifts are coming in. You're gonna start having dreams. There's gonna be visions. Woo! When I tell you, wow, you guys. I know this may sound like a movie. This is real. This is very, wow. Woo! The power you harness. The power you harness. The authority. They made the fuck around and find out team varsity, and now the high counselors had been attacked or involved. No. Woo! They messed up. They messed up. All I can say is wow. Good luck. Good luck to them. Good love and light.
Wow. So she said a whole lot, and it's so many downloads and stuff that I just received from that whole thing. And she put in to perspective some things and stuff, and in certain dreams and stuff that I've been having. Like, it just Anywho, I hope you got from that as well. Let me know if you guys have got any downloads, or you might not even know what in the world she's talking about. But, those of you who do, let me know what you think about that. And when she said Helen of Troy, I call myself the Black Helen of Troy. Don't ask why.
Y'all obsessions with trying to humble people should really be studied. Like, there's got to be some type of mastermind behind that type of plan, because y'all do it too often. And then it be on a regular basis to people y'all know y'all can't do that shit to, because they self-esteem is like to the highest of height. But yeah, y'all should be studied. I'm pretty sure a psychopath is behind that shit.
So apparently there's another trend that says the song that was #1 on the day you was born should be the theme song of your life. I got Another One Bites the Dust from Queen. Junkyard Dog. Which one you got, fam?
You crazy as hell if you think everything that you went through was for no reason. Just no reason, just to go through it. You are out of your mind if you think the hell that you just went through or the hell that you're currently experiencing is for no reason. Everything that we go through is supposed to build us. Every L is a lesson. The lesson learned will help you in the future. You gonna feel sick and tired, or you gonna be tired of feeling sick. It hurts. That's why they call it growing pains. The is painful. People that are comfortable don't have nothing in this life worth having is gonna come easy. Everything that you were once worried about worked itself out. Everything that you have currently, you prayed for at one point. Yes, you are gonna feel like giving up. That's when your breakthrough's gonna come. Stay the course. You can be a victim of your circumstances or a victor. You can let life build you or break you. Look at me. I'm built different.
Yes. Real important message there. Remember, if it doesn't break you, it's going to build you. For sure.
What if I told you the reason you feel temptations for certain things and certain sins is very specific to what you're supposed to do? If you have the urge to smoke or damage your lungs, it's because your voice is made to worship. The enemy's trying to silence you. That was meant to praise. Whoa. If you have crippling self-doubt or insecurity, it's because you're meant to lead and inspire. If you weren't dangerous to darkness, it wouldn't try to mute your confidence. Yeah. If you have constant distraction and procrastination, it's because you carry strategy, vision, and ideas from heaven. The enemy delays you because he can't stop you. Only you can. Okay. If you have an addiction to lust or pornography, it's because you carry a deep capacity for intimacy, covenant, and healing. Perverting love is how Satan prevents true restoration. If you have fear of rejection or abandonment, it's because you carry a spirit of belonging and reconciliation. You were made to gather the outcasts, so he tries to make you feel like one. If you have an obsession with appearance or body image, it's because you're meant to reflect God's glory, not the world's standards. So he's going to try to get you to hate your image. If you're drawn to witchcraft, astrology, you have a prophetic gift meant for God's kingdom. The enemy counterfeits your gift to keep you out of alignment. If you struggle with overspending or greed, it's because you're meant to be a kingdom financer. So he wants to keep you broke so he can never bless others.
That's crazy. Because I used to struggle with most of those things. Like, probably dang near all of those things except for about one. That's wild. Anyway, can you guys relate to that? Am I the only one? Let me know.
Don't ever think that I just got it all figured out, y'all, because I still struggle too. I'm just, I'm comfortable enough and done been on here enough with y'all that I know I can just keep it real with y'all because it is what it is. So, with me is I tap into meditation. I surround myself about people that do the same thing that I'm doing. I've built a good platform. So it's everybody I talk to, unless they clients are trying to get healed, they on the same diet as me. So it's not hard for me, to bang it. It's the battle is truly, truly within. So like, he asking, what did you actually tap into? Me personally, I tap into Yahweh. I sing a lot of Hebrew songs in Hebrew. I make sure I meditate a lot. I stay busy a lot because it's hard to stay dedicated on doing what's right when your whole life you've been lied to about what's doing wrong. So I get the question. So did you do any type of prayers or what was you doing?
Well, yeah, I'm very spiritual, and I prayed and prayed and prayed till tears came my eyes, and I just been asking for guidance, just trying to motivate myself.
Facts.
There kept me going.
That's good. So just for you, brother, for me and you, I got something for you. Whenever I need to just dig down and there's people around me that ain't right. Now everybody that's around me is plant-based, but I'm just talking about when I'm around or I'm on business trips and I'm not seeing eye to eye, I feel the energy wrong or somebody trying to pull me down, man. Right. I like to sing like certain songs, man, like literally, and it's a chant that I do. You know what I'm saying? And it works because it's when I do it, it's about diaphragmatic breathing and like basically go, we calling on Yahweh, 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 Zabaoth, Zabaoth. We calling on Yahweh, 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 Zabaoth, Zabaoth. And I sing that and I sing it back to back and I break down his name in Hebrew. And when you stand in a position, you stand straight up, you put your feet shoulder length and you squat a little bit. And when you're doing it, you're breathing with the breath, man. And it's the perfect diaphragmatic breathing where you breathing in a lot of oxygen and using the CO2 constituents in your body. Bro, when I say that be all the breath, if you do that for 20 minutes, you don't even be thinking about food because you done ate so much air. You done ate so much oxygen, the prana, the Holy Ghost, man. And not only that, and then Yahweh, you know, means I am that I am. He's the creator. And then Zabaoth means the heavenly host. You calling on a cosmic army, the cosmic angels. Because what you doing is you going through a spiritual battle anyway, so you're going to need your heavenly forces to come help you out. So why not call on the angels or the army of the heavenly host? Zebaoth, you know what I'm saying? And it's stuff like that. It's so many different spiritual exercises that you can do to really, really, you know what I'm saying, put on your spiritual gloves and whoop Satan.
They'll tell you be humble, but being so humble could do more harm than good. These same people will start thinking they could play with you. That's why I had to start putting my foot on a few people's necks. So yeah, while it is important to stay grounded, you do gotta pop your shit sometimes. If you haven't noticed already, one thing I try to do is approach everything from a balanced perspective. Too much of anything, even if it's good, could become a negative without that balance. With that being said, don't dim your light to make other people comfortable. Stay grounded, but never forget to stand on who you are.
I actually have a problem with the word humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, we only supposed to be humbling ourselves to the Creator. But if you look up the word, modest is what, you know, we should be exemplifying. But yeah, humble, I don't like it. Look up the word, the definition to the word humble. Let's see what you guys think.
You know the name that you chose for your social media handle, whether it be right here on TikTok or on IG? Well, you're not pulling those names randomly. You didn't create that out of nowhere. As a matter of fact, what you're doing is you're trying to remember something that's stored in your Akashic records. This is your unconscious memory bank. Nothing that you name is random. Everything that you name is associated with your Akashic records, your unconscious memory bank. Now, before I go forward with this, let me explain a little bit about who I am. My name is Dr. Kamisha. I'm a metaphysical psychologist, and I read Akashic records through names. Let me give you an example. If you had a car, or even let's say your parents had a car that you grew up in, like you always getting in this car, and it happens to be the name of some type of zodiac, or like something astrological, like Ford Taurus, like a Mercury, like a Saturn, what is it, Dodge Ram, that's Aries. These are contracts and these are clues that are in your astrological makeup, because your astrological makeup is also your Akashic record makeup. Now, if you're sitting up here listening to this video and you're trying to figure out, like, well, damn, what cars did I have? What cars did I grow up in? This is you trying to put the pieces together. However, imagine if you read the book. Imagine if you read the book Exposing the Mystery Within Your Names. That's in my bio. You're going to get way more epiphanies and be able to connect pieces of way more bigger puzzles than you could ever get by watching this little 60-second video. Go check it out.
I think I might get her book. She sold that. Like, I'm intrigued. I'm very interested. Like, it's always love in my name though. Like, it's always love in my name. There's goddess in my name. One of my names. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's interesting, even from the cars and stuff. I'm just getting all these downloads. That's wild. Like, if
yeah, y'all check her out. Check her out. You know what I mean? And she got me. I'm sold.
Most people think reincarnation is some beautiful cycle of coming back to earth to grow, but what if I told you it's actually a spiritual loop trap? You're not here to repeat the same suffering lifetime after lifetime. That's not growth, that's slavery. Your soul agreed to this life to complete a mission. If you forget that mission, you get recycled and trapped and reset. That's why remembering is dangerous to the system. When you activate your blueprint, you exit the loop. This is why the 144,000 matter. We're the exit coders. You don't ascend by being good, you ascend by being aligned. Want to break this cycle? Start by asking, why did I come here? And what part of me is still asleep? Because if you wake up, there's no going back.
Real issue is that you decentered God and you called yourself trying to fill the void that you have now with these temporary connections that have no weight to them. First of all, no one told y'all to make any love interest, any romantic partner, any man or woman your God. You wouldn't have had to decenter them if you never made them an idol to begin with. You didn't want to wait on God's timing. You were worried so much about your needs and your body and what you wanted and how you wanted to feel. And then you just pushed God to the margins because your pleasure was more important than waiting on God, right? Oh, don't get mad now. You made an idol out of that relationship. You made that relationship priority. You didn't listen to God. You didn't heed the warnings. You didn't talk to God about it. You didn't pray to God about it. The only time that you prayed is when something was not going your way. Instead of asking God, is this person for me? Show me your face in this, God. Reveal my motives. Reveal this person's motives. I'm not done. Come back over here and sit down. You drowned out God's voice because it didn't sound like what you wanted to hear. And then when the relationship failed and now you feel bad and you don't feel good enough and you feel like you less valuable and now you are running away from God because something that you wanted, something within your will failed, then you decide now, I don't care no more. Then you become bitter and you become unforgiving and you become angry and resentful. And now the throne of God is now replaced by your unforgiveness and your bitterness. Whoever God has assigned to you, whoever God has called you to now, will now have to receive your bitterness if he even allows you to get to that person he's assigned you to. Now you over here telling people if God really loved you, he would have never allowed that to happen. And that's my issue that I have, because a lot of y'all be treating God like he is simply just a genie and he's supposed to just come through and fix everything and grant every single one of your wishes. You was never supposed to be with that person to begin with. You just didn't want to listen. Had God have been in the center of your life, I guarantee you whatever situation you were trying to put yourself in, unless he was going to use it to test you, he would have stopped you in some kind of capacity. But let's say that God did give you a warning and you want to go by your own will. Who's to blame? Don't be trying to push God to the side now because you lost something that you wanted that he warned you about. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. You decentered God. When you made the time with them more important than prayer time with God, you decentered God. When you made the love and the effort that you poured into them more important than the love and the effort that you poured into God, you decentered God. And now that all things have failed, now all of a sudden, God's the problem. Anytime that you decenter God, anytime you remove God as the most important factor in your life, you will feel the suffering. Anytime you put somebody ahead of God, you pedestalize somebody, you make somebody an idol, and you don't give God at least a bit of that energy, you're going to feel it. You're going to suffer.
Wow, that was a good message. Yeah, so we're never supposed to be putting a person over our Creator. You're going to learn some lessons, some good lessons, but, you know, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Like, you know, I'm sure we all been there, but, yeah, it's a no. You know, I can't put a person over the Creator. I can't put a person over me. It never ends well. You don't get that happily ever after when you do that. Let me know if you agree or disagree.
I can literally hear the repetitive statement of the bones and the ashes of your ancestors are rumbling in the earth. It is rumbling in the soil
for all of the treacherous things and the attacks that have been done to you. I don't know collectively if it's all of you, but some of you, it really feels like the childhood traumas and different things that you guys have been healing, and the work that you've done is causing a ripple effect of an energy that I myself have never experienced. When I tell you the downloads are coming in viciously over and over and over again, as fast as I can either get them written down or typed out, or I've been waking from my sleep in some of these. And when I tell you the Royal Rumble is on, that's an understatement. That is an understatement. The repetitive thing, like I said earlier, I kept hearing was the ashes and the bones are rumbling in the earth, as if from the graveyard the ancestors are really, really not happy. Like, they are pissed about the things that were done. And there is a fury that is coming from this. And like I said, I've never felt anything so potent and strong. And it's not like a download or the information will come in and then it'll cease. It seems like it's like back to back to back to back to back. It's almost like a weapon being fired off, like rapid fire from an actual. If you know anything about like rifles, it's like a rapid fire on a gun. And when I tell you I'm getting chills. When I tell you the ancestors are fucking pissed about all the things that you've gone through and those vicious attacks that were on you that should not have taken place. Like I said, it's an understatement. Oh my God, the chills. The chills. And that's another thing that's been happening with these downloads. When I tell you they have been so powerful, and this last one I had to write out. I had to stop it. I was like, okay, just give me a minute so I can process this, because the chills were so strong that I could barely hold my pencil to even write. I could barely hold it. When I tell you the work that you've done, the generational curses that you have broken, and the chills. The power that you are harnessing because of the things that you have done is getting ready to catapult you into a position in your life you never fathomed that you could ever be in. And the masses of people that you are about to touch because of it, it's going to be so profound. It's going to scare you. It is going to scare you. But you should know that you have the ability and the power to be able to do so. And they've given you this anointing and this authority because of the work that you have done. When I tell you, like I said, the chills, oh my God, they just keep coming in. I have felt chills before, but even so, when they tell you like the hairs on the back of your neck have stood up, I myself personally have never experienced that, but just recently with these downloads, especially the last few ones that I have been getting, the hairs on the back of my neck have been standing up. Y'all get ready, because here in a minute, I'm getting ready to post some of these things that I've been getting the downloads for and what's being disclosed and being told to me. And when I tell you it's profound, I mean the ancestors, the ether, the cosmos, the angels. It's almost like they all simultaneously have had like this large congregation, like they met at like King Arthur and the Knights at the Round Table, like they had a meeting, and you were the topic of discussion. And when I tell you, that it is not good for the people that came for you, the demonic forces that came against you, it's so bad for the opposing team that I'll even give you this bit of information. Some of the demons that were actually on the side of the opposing team that these individuals pretty much held hands with on your demise, The demons have moved out the way so that the powers that be can get a hold of these individuals. When I tell you strong, like I said, that's an understatement, and the chills just keep coming. Y'all, when I tell you this shit is powerful, woo, this is an understatement. Y'all, something's happening in the spirit realm like I've never myself personally experienced before. When I tell you it's profound, it is. So like I said, get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Man, if you're wearing hair pieces, ladies, you better tie them down, and sir, if you got on the head, you better bolt it down, because I'm telling you, the way you're getting ready to catapult into this next phase in your life, it's going to be like none other. It's going to be like none other. And that's because, like I said, all of that childhood trauma that you started healing and all the things that you did when you could have turned cold and you didn't, when I tell you, the powers that be saw everything. There ain't enough words for me to actually give you description of what they've actually been showing me. It's powerful, y'all, and it's coming. It's coming. Get ready. Like I said, I'll probably have another post tonight on some stuff that came in. Get ready. Get ready. This has been long coming for you. You waited so long. It's woo. Here.
They told you it's natural to release often. They lied. Every time you ejaculate, you lose life force, not just fluid. That's why you feel drained after. It's not just biology, it's spiritual depletion. Your semen holds the blueprint of generations. It's the condensed essence of creation. When you retain it, the energy recycles through your body, charging your mind, nervous system, and intuition. You literally glow. Think of all of the ancient warriors, prophets, monks, sages. They practice retention. Why? Because semen in divine currency, it unlocks telepathy, it sharpens memory, it raises frequency. Corn, that's a weapon. It's not just lust, it's psychological warfare to drain divine men. The system profits from your weakness. But the moment you say no, you flip the switch. You rise above, animal instincts step in, God mode. You don't need a reason to hold your seed. You need a reason to waste it. This is your divine inheritance. Guard it like gold. You're not addicted. You're awakening. This is how it begins.
I'm vibrating too high to the point where this reality doesn't even feel, fulfilling to me, because the world that I actually come from, or the realm that I actually come from, is, one where only infinite possibilities exist. Light, love, constant just elevation and growth. Being able to fully embody my true self, fully, on a soul level. Not saying I can't do that on Earth, but I mean, on Earth, there are limitations. But if you also feel this way, I just want you to know, my nigga, like, you're not alone. You feel me? So all my aliens out there, my nigga, hey, not alone, gang. I've been feeling like this since I was a jet. You feel me? So it ain't really nothing new to me.
Well, he's speaking to some people out there. So if you feel different, if you feel out of place, 9 times out of 10, it's because you are different and you are out of place. Some people are not from this 3-dimensional plane. You know what I mean? Some people come from different dimensions, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people, this is not going to hit a lot of people. A lot of people are not going to be able to understand what I'm saying, but those who have ears to hear, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Be grateful for what you do have. Remember all the times whenever you didn't have nothing. Remember all the times when you literally would have did anything you could just to get a small meal, or just to get a little bit of money just so you can get some clothes or something, or just a little bit of companionship from someone. Remember the times when you had nothing at all. And then look at what you have right now. You might not have everything you want in this moment, but that's okay. Be grateful for what you do have, because that's how you actually value it and build more.
I'm going to say something that's pretty controversial. You need more than Jesus. There's a lot of people out here that are convinced that if you believe that Jesus died for your sins and that his blood washes over you, that you're getting a free ticket to heaven, that you're going to make it through this. And I can guarantee you that's not the case. I'm not denying the significance of Christ. I'm not denying the importance of following Christ's teachings. What I'm telling you is the blood of Christ thing is totally a distraction. You see, the irony of it is, of course, that when Christ returns, you're going to be the one that said, we did this for you, and we heal people, and we preached in your name. And Christ is going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. The reason he's going to say that is because he doesn't know you. He doesn't see you. He doesn't see Christ in your heart. He sees that you took on a false belief that was preached to you by the institution of the synagogue of Satan, and that you took that free pass instead of doing what you were supposed to do, instead of doing what he told you to do. What's going to save you is to have Christ in your heart. That means the principles of Christ in your heart. When Christ said to the Pharisees, your father is the devil because you engage in lies and deception, and my Father is the God in heaven because I speak truth. What Christ is saying there is you're worshiping God when you do the right thing. So you can say all day, Jesus, I believe you died for my sins and I accept you into my heart, blah, 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 blah. And then you go and you do something nasty, terrible, wicked. You engage in willing or willful wickedness and evil. It kind of negates the whole thing. You just said words. Those words don't mean anything unless you back them up with actions. Yeah, there's a lot of people on here that will tell you all you need to do is believe that Jesus died for your sins. But this is black magic. This is Old Testament blood sacrifice. It's the same thing that Christ was speaking out against. You now hold as the center point of your belief system. It's just another version of this dark magic. It's a lie that they put into the religion so that you wouldn't know the truth. Because when shit really hits the fan and when you're tested, you're going to need to understand what it means to be good and why it matters. You're going to need to be good regardless of a promise of heaven. You're going to need to be good regardless of the fact that you think that by doing a certain thing, you're going to escape hell. Okay? You're doing it for the wrong reasons. Right? If you're just trying to get into heaven or trying to avoid hell or avoid the tribulations, you need to be doing it because being good is the right thing to do. You need to understand why good is good. That's the only thing that's going to get you through this, because you're going to be tested in ways that you can't even imagine. Okay? And you believing that Christ died for your sins is not going to be enough. You're going to fold. Just like in 1984, those two main characters thought that, they had everything they needed to resist Big Brother. And then, the people that read the book, y'all know what happened to them. And they were pushed to the limit, and they had forsaken themselves and forsaken each other because Big Brother found the weakness in them, because the foundations of good were not buried deep enough within them. They didn't have a strong enough conviction in the good, and so they were broken by Big Brother. Trust me when I tell you, that's how it's going to be here. Your faith is going to be tested beyond a simple prayer that your preacher, pastor, or priest taught you. It's not going to be enough. I promise you that. So, stick with your belief. I'm not telling you to not believe in that, although I know it's wrong. But I'm telling you to add that extra layer on. I'm telling you that you need to understand why good matters the way Christ understood it. Maybe not as deeply and esoterically and metaphysically as he did, but you need to understand it as much as you're capable of, cognitively and emotionally, as a human being. He spoke through parables. He taught lessons through actions. You need to go back through the stories because there's a deeper meaning there that anybody who's relying on the blood of Christ narrative to get them through this does not understand. There are very powerful esoteric wisdoms within his teachings that pretty much everyone misses. So go back through and study those things because you're gonna need them.
I am so glad he said it, because if you don't absolutely loathe this world, its operations, its systems, then keep working. Keep working. Keep seeking, because you're not there yet. You ain't got it. It's going to take more than repentance to get you where you want to be. It's going to take some discipline. So, some self-control, some, it's going to take some things. It's going to take you embodying what you were meant to embody in the first place. But let me know your thoughts on this. And one more thing. You can't be attached to nothing here. You're going to have to be willing to let everything go.
If Jesus is just a fairy tale, explain why he split time in half. BC and AD, before Christ and after death. Every nation, every calendar, every timeline shifted because of one name. You can mock him, you can deny him, you can even rewrite BCE and CE, but the clock still bows to Christ. Fairy tales don't shake kingdoms. Myths don't rewrite history. Jesus does.
Well, that concludes today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Give this video a big thumbs up. Shout out to all the creators. Go like, follow, and comment on their videos. And as always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Be blessed. Peace. Thank you for being a real one, for being a chill one, for hitting the sub button. Thank you for showing me love. Yeah, y'all some good vibes.